Hey guys, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Not Your Normal Podcast series. On today's episode, we'll be talking about what I wish I was told before entering the creative industry. This episode is a solo episode, no feature on this episode. Next episode, we will have a feature. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Not Your Normal Podcast.
All right, thank you for tuning in onto this episode, guys. Today we'll be discussing what I wish I was told before entering the creative industry. Now, this is a question that I think people need to sit back and ask themselves after being in the industry or whatever field you find yourself in. I think you need to sit down and ask yourself this question from time to time, just so that you can look back and see the process of what you have been through. I think that for me, I started, graphic design or everything, the video. When I started, I didn't start out with like a proper, schooling or something about this. I just started it based by myself, self-taught, learning videos on YouTube, from YouTube tutorials and all of that. And that's how I got myself running before I finally, got to get myself a certificate and here and there. But before all that, obviously there are a couple of things that I wish I was told in the beginning that would have guided me during the course of, my career or whatever it is that I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to start by saying some of them. One of them is respect how much you learn. Now, this is something that you probably are not going to hear every day, but you need to respect how much you learn depending on whatever field you're in, whether it's photography, videography, graphic design, animation, anything. I think you need to respect how much you learn, because that way you're able to appreciate appreciate that skill more. You're able to appreciate whatever it is you're doing more, when you respect how much you're learning that thing. Sometimes we get to learn certain things and we do not even see it as anything, because sometimes it looks like if what we're learning or the particular thing we're learning or the topic or whatever it is at that point in time may not be meaningful or may not feel like something useful at that point in time, until you find yourself in a situation where you're like, oh shit, I knew about this but I didn't pay attention, or I need to find a way to get this back to my head or something, and that happens all the time, man. That happened to me all the time. I know when I started learning, I was using Cinema 4D, and I remember there are a couple of tutorials that I learned, but I didn't really take it seriously because I was just looking for one thing in the tutorial. And after the tutorial was done, I just took away the video because I thought I was done. But then I later realized that I found myself in a situation where that particular video or that tutorial that I just learned, or that thing that I just ignored, was something I needed to be able to pull through a project, and I had to go back and start looking for it. So really, I think people need to respect how much you learn, regardless of whatever it is. And secondly, I would say there's a need for self-discipline. Really, you need to discipline yourself to be able to grow as a person. You need to be able, because I wish I was told this, if probably I had self-discipline on the beginning, I probably would have figured out a lot of things earlier. I think maybe this podcast would have started a year ago if I had proper self-discipline and all of that. But that well and said, I guess the experience has taught a lot of things, and I'm glad that I was able to learn from my experience to date. I'm able to understand a couple of things, and I'm just glad for the experience. I do not regret anything. And so, yeah, self-discipline is really important. You need to be able to discipline yourself on certain things, there should be time for everything. You need to be able to manage your time, even if it's on a project, on, different things, because I know there are a lot of distractions out there, and sometimes you can get carried away easily by these distractions, forgetting, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, or your goal, And so, yes, there's a need for self-discipline along the line, regardless of what you're doing, I think self-discipline and time management will go the same way, if you ask me. But I think if you have self-discipline, you should be able to also manage your time as well, in whatever thing that you're doing. Another thing I want to talk about. It's a funny thing, and I feel like a lot of people make this mistake when they are starting out. This thing is called do not be a yes man to everything. Okay, now it's normal for people to always want to say yes to every job they get. They want to, be able to handle every job that comes your way when you're starting out. Now, you need to be careful at this stage, because I have found myself in the middle of so many projects that I couldn't, like, I never even had time to sleep because I had said yes to taking all these projects. And the clients don't really care how many projects you have. They just want to get their project delivered, right? And I had to deal with that. I had to, it took a lot of sacrifice. I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot of, stress. And even after I finished up all the projects, I know that I didn't finish it up with my best, And I think that's why I say do not say yes, because at the end of the day, you find yourself doing more than you bargained for, right? And you may not be able to deliver to the best of your capacity. And secondly, you might break down. You do not want to break down during times when you're handling projects like that. So really, do not be a yes man to everything. Try and avoid. Learn to say no. There's nothing bad in saying no. I do that always, man. There are jobs that I would just say, no, I cannot handle it. No, I can't do it right now. I have like last week or last 2 weeks, I know someone asked for a video and he was like, he needed it done immediately. He needed me to start working on it immediately. And I told him, no, I can't work on this right now because I have a couple of jobs that I'm working on. If you can wait till this particular date, then maybe we could, get on it and, stuff like that. And to be honest, with that, I'm able to deliver on time. I'm able to deliver, good quality things rather than when you're trying to rush a project. So, yeah, do not say yes to everything. You're just going to find yourself in situations you don't want to be in, And, fourthly, I would say you should value the kind of people you meet. Now, to be honest, I've met a lot of people, and just because of what I'm doing, and we still have good relationships to date, and I'm glad that I met them. I still value them. I'm still able to do things for them. And there's this particular statement I said about valuing the people you meet goes way deeper than this, because at the end of the day, you find yourself building not just a business relationship, but also a good relationship with some of these people. Now, at some point in your life, you're going to understand that these people are kind of part of the reason why you're able to, be this successful, be this good at what you're doing, because they have kept on throwing challenges at you. They have kept on putting things your way, and that is what has helped you become, a better person at what you're doing. And I think that is one of the reasons you need to value, the kind of people you meet. I'm glad that the kind of people I meet, I'm able to still communicate with them today. I'm able to still talk to them, and they're able to still call me to say, hey, I want you to handle this, and and things like that. And really just value people you meet. Really just, you don't even have to like go so extra or like try to call them every time or something, but just value that relationship, respect that relationship, respect them. That way you are giving them, you're valuing them rather. Yeah. And the fourth thing, what was it? I think this is the fifth point would be as fearless as a lion. Now, this is a very good thing, because I particularly put this like this because a lion is kind of my favorite animal, and this is why I like this point, because if you check my profile picture, you're gonna see half of my face and half of a lion's face. But really, I love a lion. So you have the heart of a lion. Now, why do I say that? Is because along the line of your career, along the line of whatever it is you're doing in this life, you are going to face challenges. You are going to face the biggest challenges you never even imagined. Things that you never prepared yourself for. Things that you feel like, oh my God, I cannot do this. You are going to face them. Now, the question is, when you face those challenges, what are you going to do? Are you going to say no? Just because I said do not be a yes man to everything doesn't mean you shouldn't take up challenges, because the only way you can grow and become better at what you're doing is if you are able to challenge yourself and pass that challenge. And you need to understand that challenges are really not the end of something. Challenges are not really, I think you should see challenges as a test, see challenges as something that is to help you build and broaden your knowledge. Because when you find yourself being challenged with some work, you realize that the client's expectations or the client's requirement for that particular project, it's not something you've done before. And that pushes you to either go on the website or, on the internet, do some research, try to understand certain things, get a tutorial. And that looks hectic sometimes, but look at it this way, that you are learning something that tomorrow you can still use to your own advantage, and it's really a good thing, because at the end of the day, not only are you winning knowledge, but you're also winning the heart of the clients too. So really, challenges should not be like something to be scared of. I think challenges should be something we should be ready to embark on, something to go head on into, and take the challenge, try and do it. Don't put yourself down by saying you cannot do it every time. There are certain challenges that, yes, you cannot do. Obviously, there's going to be challenges you cannot meet up to. There are going to be challenges you cannot do, no doubt. But try and take challenges. Try and embark on some of these things. Do not say no to everything. Just because I said, do not be a yes man to everything. The sixth thing, I think this is the sixth point, is research industry rules. So whatever field you're in, I think the point says it all. Just research your industry rules. Try to understand what's in trend. Try to understand how things are working. What are people doing today? What is the latest photography style? What is the latest video style? What is the latest thing to do? What shouldn't you do? That way you're able to build not just because clients do not know this part. They don't really know what the rules are. You are the one that is to know the rules. And you can imagine if you had to do a job for a client or a project for a client, and the client was to use that project somewhere else where some other person in your field saw that project. And, if your project is not respecting the industry rules, if your project is, not even up to the standard of what is going on, that someone else can meet your client and be like, hey, I could do this better for you, and that way you just lost the client, man. So you need to understand what is going on. Try and join, communities, Facebook groups. I'm not on Facebook, but I think there are a couple of Instagram pages you can follow that post up interesting tutorials or things that would help you build, yourself as time goes on. So yeah, I think you should research some of these rules, try to know them so that you can become better at whatever it is that you are doing. The last point is to document your process. Now, sometimes we grow and we do a lot of things, and sometimes we forget where we come from, and that is normal. That is normal. Sometimes we get carried away with the things of life. We get carried away with how many projects we are carrying, how many things that we are doing, and that's fine. That's a couple of things that tend to happen as time goes on. But you still need to be able to take time out and journal your process. Take time out to understand yourself even better. Try to know, how do I work? How am I able to deliver good and quality projects, good and quality designs, good and quality photos, videos? What is working for me and what is not working for me? I think we'll talk about something related to this on an episode coming soon, featured with someone. I'm not going to reveal the name, but documenting your process not just helps you as a person build, but it helps you understand yourself much, much, much better, because that way you're able to know how to handle things, even when it's getting really rough. Okay, so sometimes people find themselves in the roughest situations of all time, and there's really no process for them to even walk. There's no process or anything put down for them to be able to tackle these situations. I know that we can never be prepared for anything that is coming, but having a process, having to understand your process, documenting your process, journaling, and doing all these things, it would not just, when such things happen, even if it comes unexpectedly, even if it's bigger than you, trust me, you're gonna have a calm spirit to be able to, approach it. Why? Because you already have a process that you're working with. And I think that is one of the things I try to like do personally, try to document everything I'm doing, try to understand. It may not necessarily be you opening Microsoft Word, typing an entire document. No, anything that works for you is fine. If that works for you, go ahead and do it. But for me, it's not going to work for me. So really just try and understand your process, try and document your process, and know what works for you best and what doesn't work for you. That way you're able to build a very good and beautiful brand. I know I have said a lot of things. I have said that you should respect how much you learn. There's need for self-discipline. Do not say yes to everything. Value the kind of people you meet. Be as fearless as a lion. Research industry rules. And lastly, document your process. These are a couple of things I wish I was told when I was entering the creative industry. Now, this is personally for me. Now, other people might as well hear or see something different, and we'll get to that on another episode because I'll be having someone else to talk about this with on another episode. But wait a minute, I think we already did this. I think this was the second episode. This was the second episode, and I think that we had Ope Ikotu. He's an architect and also a designer. If you haven't heard that episode, you might want to check it out. He's said a couple of interesting things, and if you listen to those things, you realize that those things and what I just said are really different. That's to tell you that people have very, very different opinions or very different views as to what they wish they were told. So yeah, this is my view on what I wish I was told. And I think that this can apply to everyone. I think that this is, pretty much basic. But like I said, we probably would have another episode in regards to this. I do not know, or it will come in the season 2. I do not know yet. We'll see what happens. But guys, I just want to say thank you. A couple of people have been talking to me about, extending the clients from hell stories, and trust me, we're gonna have more of that very soon. We're looking to see how we could have more episodes in just that topic, and most likely that is not gonna be a one-time topic anymore. It's gonna be a topic that might come up every now and then as time goes on. And like I said in the beginning, I know that this podcast was programmed to go up weekly, but if we have more clients from hell stories, most likely we would have an episode of clients from hell go up during the week, and the main episode again go up. So just same way, but we would also have another episode go up during the week, which will be particularly clients from hell stories. Guys, again, I just want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes, thank you for sharing, thank you for everything, thank you for the good reviews. You can leave a review to this podcast in the link. I'm going to leave a link below on where to leave a review to the podcast. If you're looking to see something different, anything you want me to talk about or you think we should talk about, feel free to leave a review. I'm going to leave a link below in the description. Again, I just want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for everything that you guys have been doing. I hope everyone is staying safe, and I hope that you all have a great week ahead. Thank you. This has been Bobby on the Not Your Normal Podcast series, episode 5. Stay tuned for the next.